There's one critical setting that you need to pay attention to when you set up your indoor bicycle trainer. Any make, any model with a bicycle. On the bicycle again, any make, any model. How the geometry of the two of them work together with a third party, the floor, the resultant interaction can be checked very easily with a simple builder's level. Very inexpensive. Now, if you don't get this setting right, you're going to be hurting yourself completely unnecessarily. Exercise is one thing, being in pain is quite another. When the trainer is set up on the floor, given in a spot where you assigned this to exist, when you're done setting up, the seat and the handlebar on the bicycle have to be level. Level means that when you grab a very simple tool like this, a builder's level, really inexpensive, you can get shorter ones, longer ones. They have a small vial. In the vial there's a bubble, and when things are level, the bubble rests in the middle between those two black lines. So when the bicycle is set up and is level, you put the level on it, you look at it like so, thereabouts, and the bubble rests in the middle. The seat on this bicycle is level, so is the frame. Have a look at it here. The frame is not entirely flat, so I'm going to have to balance it a little bit, center it, there. Okay, the frame is level and the handlebar is going to be level. I'm going to show you how this looks. Now obviously the wheel has to point forward, and how I mounted my there. I'm going to have to hold it just from falling off, but you can see that the bubble rests in the middle because the hoods are level. And for this, the wheel doesn't have to be precisely point forward. You get the idea that this can move a little bit. It's still, you can see, level will be level. There, the bicycle has been leveled. Handlebars, frame, and seat. Now, this may be obvious that the bicycle has to be level, but if it's not, it's going to be really, really painful to ride on it any length of time, especially extended periods of time. So if you take a look at it, I had to shim up one side of the trainer with those weight plates. The thickness of these weight plates were needed to level out the bike. There. So you might be thinking, why is this so? Is the floor level? Oh, brilliant question. Let's check it. It apparently is. How about here? It's still level there. Further back, it's still level there. How about fore and aft? Close enough to level. So the floor, let's call it perfect. So why does the trainer need to be lifted up on one side in order to level the bicycle? Excellent question, I'm glad you asked. I have a smaller level here to show you that indeed, as the trainer is lifted on one side, the floor is level. That's a magnetic one. A short one will do, it doesn't have to be a long one, but a long one probably works a little better. So, the trainer is obviously made out of level. So, the reason for it is, where the rear axle here is mounted, you might be thinking, oh, of course, I obviously put the bike in wrong. Let's check the bike frame here. Well, the bike frame there is obviously not level. To make it level, you see I would need to raise one side of this builder's level that much. So obviously there's a problem with the frame or with the trainer. And at this point it really doesn't matter which one is not straight, whether you might say, oh, probably mounted the rear axle wrong, but if I unclamp it Now it's loose. And move the bicycle frame on the spacers and push down on the bicycle to make sure the bicycle's axle is seated properly there. You know, just push down on it and then clamp it in, or just leave it loose. You can still see the bubble in the level is unchanged. It's still out that much. So whether the trainer is not straight or the bicycle frame is twisted to one side, it really doesn't matter. The setup remains the same. You need to level out the bike here where you're interacting with it. The seat, top tube and handlebar. I hope that makes sense. It doesn't really matter what the geometric puzzle is actually, which one is at fault. You have to level the bike. Just make it happen. One last note. This setting, checking the bike for level, does not need to be ever done on a bicycle when the rear wheel is mounted in it and you're just riding it on the road. The reason for it is because when you ride, you will balance the bike vertically, the top of it will be level, and that's it. Problem solved. Due to the balancing, this leveling does not ever come up as an issue. So, it doesn't matter how badly manufactured the bike's frame is. It could be steel, it could be welded, brazed aluminum, whatever. It could be carbon fiber. You will balance it vertically, the top of it will be level, and that is it. It doesn't matter how twisted or mangled or badly made the frame is. I hope that makes sense. Now, riding a bike on the road will always be more comfortable than riding a bike that's rigidly mounted into a trainer. Because when you're riding on the road, the bike will not be perfectly plumb, perfectly vertical. Then the top will not be perfectly level. You're moving the bicycle, rocking it side to side a little bit. Therefore, the top of it will be in and out of level because it will follow your body's motion. And this will make riding on a road more comfortable than riding a bike on a rigidly mounted trainer. But on a trainer, that's your best option. You have to level the bike. If it's off to one side, you're gonna be hurting on one side and it's gonna be a puzzle your physiotherapist will never solve probably. So level the bike, very straightforward. Thank you very much for watching. That's what I wanted to say. It's a little bit tricky geometry and may not be intuitive.